everybody. We're finally starting. I had a few little difficulties this morning getting this technology to work. I'm so used to doing this live in person, so this virtual thing is something new everybody's trying to get used to. All right, so we're going to get started. I'm not for sure if it's going to flip around, but I know it looks a little backwards on the screen, so it usually reads right. But if you registered for the class, you should be able to go on your email and open it up, and you should have this exact same thing in PDF form in your email right now. So you should have all of this, and it'll be right there for you. All right, so we're going to just start right on with it. I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to answer questions live because of the way I have it set up today, but the next time I do this, I'll be able to figure out how to work that and be able to answer at the same time. This is a learning process for everybody, so we're gonna get all this together. So when you first get engaged, the first thing you should do is get an estimate guest count. Without an estimate guest count, you can't figure out what kind of venue you want. You can't give anybody any suggestions or anything, because if you book the wrong size venue, then you'll lose that deposit later on down the line. So you don't have to get everybody who's going to come. You don't have to say, Aunt Sally's coming, my friend Sharon's coming. Just kind of make a list. Talk to your fiance, talk to your moms, anybody who may contribute to your guest list. You want to talk to them and find out who do they expect to come to the wedding, and then you compile this, this estimate list. You may dwindle it down some, I'm sure, probably later on down the line. And we have this chart, which is also in your packet that I sent you. And it's for those people who you are not really for sure about if they're going to come or not. You start here and it says, it's either of you related to this person, no matter how distantly, so yes. Will it create family drama if you leave him or her off the list? Yes, so you invite them. If not, have you seen or spoken to him or her in the past year? No, and then you don't have to invite them. So it kind of gives you an easy little chart. It works. It looks very simplistic, very kind of, okay, maybe or maybe not. It works every time, so it really helps out. So if you have those people who you're not really for sure whether or not you're wanting to invite them to the wedding, just send them through this little chart. But the first thing you really do need to do is get an estimate guest count, because you don't want to lose deposits over places that you've grown out of or they're just way too big. So get an estimate guest count, and then you can start looking at venues. Number 2, now that we're talking about venues, you book your venue as number 2. Once you book your venue, you have a solid wedding date. Some people come up with the wedding date first, and then some people get disappointed because all the venues that they wanted are booked on that date, especially if you're booking with less than 6 months. Nowadays, you need almost a year to get everything you exactly want for your wedding. But it's possible to do things in 3 months if you have the time, you have the money readily available. But the thing of it is availability. A lot of the most popular venues and some of the less expensive venues go really fast. So you want to get on top of it. If you have 12 months, you have 16 months, you have 2 years. 2 years is not too early to start planning your wedding. 1 year is not too early to start planning your wedding. You can do weddings really fast if you want to. So it's up to you on how fast or slow you want to plan it. But just know, the closer to your wedding date, the less options you're going to have for your wedding. So get started as soon as you can. And don't listen to the people who says, oh, you're starting too early. No, you're never starting too early. You may be running a little late, but you can always catch up. So the venues. The cheapest venues are commonly community centers, dance studios, places owned by the Parks Department or the city. They range between $300 to $2,000. You usually can bring in your own caterer and alcohol with a licensed bartender. And I say usually because some of those places you still cannot bring in your own bartender. So you want to check into those rules. Make sure you read your contracts. Make sure when people say that the bar is not in your contract, that it is not in your contract. You don't want later for people to come back and say, oh, you have to use our caterer. Oh, you have to use our bar services. You want to make sure if you're getting a place that you want to bring in your own caterer, your own bartender, your own items, that you can just bring in your own things from licensed professionals. Make sure that's on your contract so they later won't come back and say that you have to use theirs, because within a year or 2 years, their contracts change, and whatever's on what they have is what they're going to go with. So just make sure that on your particular contract, when they sell you things, that it's in writing, so when it comes to your wedding time, you know exactly what you're getting. Sunday through Thursday wedding rentals are usually cheaper, sometimes by a couple $1,000s. So you could save with a weekday wedding or a Sunday evening wedding or afternoon wedding. If a date is not, if people don't mind having a wedding on a Thursday, have it on a Thursday or a Monday. It all depends on what type of, time of the year, if you're having a destination wedding or if everybody's in town. It all depends on what style of wedding you're trying to have. So consider those other days if you're trying to save money. Historical homes and gardens are mid-range, between $15,000 to $5,000. Some are a little bit more expensive than that even. You may be able to bring in your own caterer and alcohol or be given a list of vendors to choose from. So just make sure you check, like I said, your contract, what they tell you that you can bring in. The thing with historical homes and gardens, usually they do not have chairs or tables or any of that sort. So you have to outsource that from one of your rental companies. So sometimes they have those things and you can rent them from the actual venue. You just have to check and see. Usually if you rent the items from the venue, they are a bit cheaper than you having to go outside to another rental company. So make sure you price point both of those and see which is cheaper for you, or maybe you don't like the style that they have and you want to bring in another style. You can do that also. But do ask first, because sometimes they don't allow, especially with tents and things of that sort, they want you to use theirs because of reasons, because of things in the ground, or they want a particular setup, or they want to be in control of how you set up the things because of their property situation. So make sure you check on that when you're doing historical homes and gardens. Hotels and clubs are one of the most expensive, but they do include a lot of extras you have to pay for at other venues. So when you have your wedding and wedding reception at hotels and country clubs of that sort, or any other type of club, they usually have tables that you don't have to rent, chairs you don't have to rent. Sometimes they have chair covers that they'll put on. They usually have some sort of a basic centerpiece that you can borrow from them that you can use. Some of them you have to go through them to get all of your colored linens and napkins and other things, lighting they may have that you might have to pay extra for, but it's cheaper to go through them than bringing in an outside company, or they may not allow you to bring in an outside company, especially if it's in a hotel, because they only can have certain things put up in their ballrooms. So check with them. But you get a lot of things with the hotels that you don't get with the club. So you get white linen, usually decent chairs, tables, and a nice centerpiece, and that's with your room. And just as long as you stay within their food and beverage minimum, then you don't have to pay a room fee, which is great, because that $5,000 or that $10,000 that you spent for your minimum did not just go to a room. You actually spent it on food and alcohol. So it actually went to something instead of just a space. So you're getting something more for your money. Whereas if you go to another place, you're paying for the space and you're paying for the caterer, and you're paying for the bar, and you're paying for rental chairs and tables and linens and so on and so forth. So just weigh out your options, see what you can afford. Don't nix anything because you have some idea of what you think it's going to be. Check it out. If you like it, you never know. It may be in your budget. So just review your options before you make a decision. All right. It's not really 3, but we're going to talk about a little bit about destination weddings. And that's part of the venue also. If you're doing a destination wedding, the first thing you really need to do is pick a location, whether it's Jamaica or Santorini, Greece, or Fiji, or if you want it in Mexico, or wherever. If you want it at a sandals resort or another type of resort, do you want it an all-inclusive, which is great because your people, when they get there and they spend in their 3 to 5 days there with you, they're on vacation too. So remember that. And then when they pay for their wedding, if it's an all-inclusive resort, not just sandals, there's several other all-inclusive resorts also that you can choose from. They, once they step on the property, they don't have to worry about how much they're spending on food, how much they're spending on their alcohol, how much they're spending on entertainment, because it's all included. So they're really, truly on vacation without having to worry about what kind of tab am I going to leave this place with. So they can truly relax, truly have a good time, and truly enjoy all the amenities that is around them and be able to enjoy your wedding too. So think about that when you're picking your destination wedding locations. There's beautiful all-inclusive resorts all over the world. You just have to get with a great travel agency that will help you navigate that. And One Elegant Mint, we work with an excellent travel agency that handles all of our destination weddings, and they are superb. So you also want to find out whether or not you want to be having your destination wedding. It doesn't have to be far away. It could be, you could live in Mississippi and you could want your wedding in Florida, or you could live in New York and you want your wedding in Virginia Beach or wherever. It doesn't have to be far away. It doesn't have to be tropical. You could have it in, you could be in one state and want to have it in another state because you was born there, or you like it there, or you like a place there. So destination wedding doesn't necessarily have to mean somewhere where you have to have a passport or a visa or anything like that. So just think about that. Also with passports, if you're, especially right now, make sure you stay up on this coronavirus thing, because we never know when we're going to be able to officially, you still can travel, but it's kind of, shady right now. And then a lot of the resorts right now are closed, so you can't even go there. So you want to check on the resort when this is over, find out if they're open, when they're reopening, before you start booking anything, especially if you're booking things soon. You want to find out what their restrictions are and all of that sort. So right now it's a really tricky time to do destination weddings out of this country, even state to state. So you just kind of want to take this planning a little slow right now until all of this kind of falls through. But right now is a good time to check on pricing online. Some people have even people still in their offices answering their phones. So just call, get prices. This is a great time to get your budget straight. Find out how much it all is going to cost. So by the time all this rolls over, you can just be like boom, 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 knock it all out, and you're ready. You're ready to go. Okay? All right. Also with destination weddings, they do have on-site wedding planners there that will help you. But make sure that when you're doing this planning of your destination wedding, that you keep all of your emails. They have a lot of turnover. So you want to make sure you keep all of your emails and keep everything straight. So when one person tells you one thing, if they hire somebody else to do the job, you have all those emails from before from what they promised you, so you can show the other person. So just make sure you keep a great paper trail so that you can get what you paid for and you can get what you asked for from the beginning. All right. And we'll do a whole nother section on destination weddings because it's very detailed and a lot going on with that. So we'll do another special about that. Okay, after you have decided on how many guests you want to have estimately, then you have booked your venue. So now you have your wedding date, which is exciting. You buy your wedding dress. So why wait to buy your wedding dress? Because you kind of want your wedding dress to fit your venue. If you're having a church wedding, you don't really want like all those see-through panels where they can see all those things. You may want to change into that at the reception. So, you don't want a big heavy gown at the beach because you don't want to drag the sand around with you. I've seen that before. That's pretty funny though. But it really collects and drags you around. So, but you can have trains on beaches. They have really light dresses now. So just all depends on the style. So 3, buy your wedding dress. Unless you buy off the rack, it takes around 4 to 8 months for your wedding dress to come in after ordering. What about online? When you're ordering wedding dresses online, I would only do it from reputable named companies. When you start ordering things from companies that, especially if it's coming from China or something like that, especially right now, you just never know what you're going to get or when you're going to get it. A lot of people, they get it in and it was perfect. A lot of other people got theirs in and it did not look anything like the picture. So, and I've seen people order stuff from the same exact website. One person's dress came in perfect, another person's dress came in a disaster. So you just never know. It's a really big gamble when you order things online. I mean, the price looks good. I mean, you see this dress that you've seen in the store that's $2,000, and then you go on this website and you see it and it's like $150. I mean, if you have a year, 2 years to plan your wedding and you have time to order the dress and then get it in and see how it came out, great. If it's a bad dress, you can try to get your money back. More than likely you're not, even if it says there's a return policy. But you only spend, $100 or $150, and you can either try that website again or another website, or you can just go ahead and go to a boutique, which we kind of recommend that you try on and go and buy one from them because they have all types of price ranges at the boutiques. From the sample dresses that you can get sometimes for $100. I've seen dresses for $70 on sample racks. It all depends. They run all these fabulous sales. You don't have to necessarily spend $6,000-$7,000 on a dress. So check out the boutiques. Don't let it scare you. Don't let the numbers frighten you. They have all different types of prices and they treat you well, especially when you go to some of the locally owned boutiques. You get that bridal experience that you deserve, and it's fun, and you bring your friends and you get there and you try on this beautiful gown and in this beautiful salon, and you have this wonderful experience, and then you pick your dress, and then you have a champagne toast and you take a picture. It's a wonderful experience. It's an experience in itself. So don't cheat yourself out of the experience if you have the money to be able to do that. And you should, I wouldn't say you should, but they have all different price points at these places. So you can get that experience whether you have a couple $100 to spend or a couple $1,000 to spend. So don't take the other route. Get the experience. You only get married once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. I'm not going to say anything, but have the experience, have a good time, and enjoy it. It's a great thing. Do not be upset if you are 2 to 3 sizes bigger in a wedding dress. Most are cut much smaller than everyday clothing. Okay, so don't really look at the size. That's kind of like a starting point. So when you get in there, they'll be like, what size are you? I'm a size 10. Great. So you go in there and you try on this 10 and it don't even zip up. I'm like, don't cry. Don't cry. It's okay. You did not gain weight. You did not do anything. It's just the way they cut the dresses. Okay? So go in there and let them get the 12 or the 14 or the 16. The only person that can see the number on the inside is you. Okay? When you buy the dress, if it bothers you that much, go in there, cut the size out. Okay? Nobody has to know what size you wear. All right, so just try on the dress and get the dress that's the size that you need. And once you go in there and you try on the dress, they are fitting you for the size that you are when you try the dress on. So don't go buy the dress, then measure you, and then come back 6-7 months later and you've lost 50 pounds. Don't do that, because then you're going to have to pay all these hundreds of dollars to get the dress altered. And if it has beading on the side or down the arm or wherever you need it taken in at, they're going to have to take all those beads off, then take it in, and then put those beads back on. That's going to cost a lot of money. Okay? So, stay the size you are when you try on your dress. Well, I want to lose like some weight. Well, he proposed to you at the size you are now. He loves you at the size that you are now. And he wants to be with you for the rest of your life, and he proposed to you for what you look like now. So don't stress yourself out unduly because you had this idea in your mind. If you want to lose the weight, great, and you have the time to lose the weight and be able to order your dress and get it in on time, then wait. Lose the weight, then try the dress on, order the dress, and then get it in, and then that'll be fine, okay, if that's what you want to do. But don't stress yourself out trying to lose weight and then get it in, and then you have to do all these alterations. That's extra money you're spending for no reason. Leave enough time for alterations for bridal shoots for at least 4 to 6 weeks. So your photographer is wanting to, if you bought this photography package, usually it has an engagement photo shoot in it, a bridal shoot, and then your wedding photos, okay? Your bridal shoot is with you and your bridal gown. Usually the portrait is, you usually have a portrait for you that you keep, and then you have one that, you know, is for your mom, and she puts it in this frame, and they hang it over the fireplace or in the room or wherever. But really the bridal portrait is for the bride's mom, and she takes that and she hangs it up, and she cries, like, oh, how beautiful my daughter is, for the rest of her life. So really the bridal shoot is for your mom, even though you get one too. They usually, I know I never did get my bridal shoot photo back, but you know, nevertheless, hey, she loved it. And so you get your bridal shoot done, but you need 4 to 6 weeks before your wedding so they can alter the wedding dress. Then you can wear it, get your shoot done, and then be ready for the wedding. So make sure you leave time for that. All right, 4. All right, I talk a lot about, you know, we do a lot of high-end weddings, but even with that, even when people are spending a lot of money, I still want them to get the most for their money. So I just don't like people going out there just wasting money on things that I know they can get the same thing cheaper somewhere else. So I'm just not going to just let people just throw money away. And we do have clients that are on tight budgets, and we help them save as much money as they can and get the most money for their budget. And it's great because we can stretch it and stretch it and stretch it. We stretch it as far as we can stretch it. We do our best. But the thing that you really cannot be cheap about is your photographer. But get the best photographer that you can afford. You don't have to get the biggest and the most fabulous package that the best photographer has, but look through photographers. You can see them at bridal shows are great places to find photographers because you can see 5 to 10 to 15 of them and their displays at a time. You can see them in person. You can meet them without stress. See if you jive with their personality. Go from one to one to one. See, you know, see how they take pictures of people of your complexion. Go through their things. You're not even like bothered. You're not really doing a consult. You can go through all their things and then decide at the end of the day, you know, is this the photographer that we want? And then you pick the one that you want. And if you can't afford the platinum package that they have, so be it. But get the smaller package that they have. You know, it's best to have some great photos than some trashy photos, a bunch of trashy photos. Because these are the photos that you're going to have for the rest of your life. You're going to show your parents, your grandkids, your regular kids, they're gonna show after you passed and gone. They're gonna dusting things up like, oh, Granny from back in the day. This is her wedding picture. It's so timeless and da 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 da. So these pictures never die. So they're gonna go on and on and on, and you don't want them passing ugly pictures of you. I know. So just make sure you get the best photographer that you can afford, and don't feel bad about it. These are your memories. That's all you have. You spent all this money on flowers. You spent money on makeup. You spent money on the dress. You spent money on the decor. You spent money on this, that, and the other. And then at the end of the day, what's left? The party's over. The dress is hung up. You need to get it dry cleaned. The food is ate. And then you have these pictures. That's it. For the rest of your life, these pictures or video. So, you really need to make sure they're great and they're of good quality so you can, see them and they're clear and they're beautiful. And so just make sure you just don't cheapen out on your photographer. That's the one thing you really cannot afford to not pay for. Also, number 5, hire a videographer for at least the ceremony. You don't really have to have a videographer for the whole time. It's nice to have one for, the ceremony and the reception so you can see everything and all of that. But, hire someone for at least the ceremony. Why? Because as a bride, and even the groom, or even if you're a same-sex couple, you're just not going to see it all. You're caught up in the emotions of it all. If you come in at the beginning, you may see, a lot of it, but you're caught up in your head and emotions. You're looking at the people. You're looking at this. You may be crying. You may be distracted. You're not really paying attention, and then it's over, and then you swept off to the reception, and then boom, you have no idea what vows you said. You don't know what you committed to. I do. That's how you said. You don't remember anything else, and then you're off to the party and you're having a good time, and then later on that night or the next day or next week you're like, what in the world happened at this ceremony? I know that was the most important part, but I don't remember any of it. And then you have this video that shows up and you're like, oh my gosh, the ceremony was beautiful, and it was this, it was that, and you hear the songs that you had played. If you had a harp player, you hear the music, you hear the other music, you hear all these things that you did not not that you didn't want to pay attention, it's just so much going on that day that you're going to miss it. So just get at least a video for the ceremony so you can see it, hear it, take it all in later in your private moments. It's a good thing to watch on your anniversaries. And even when it goes into the attic and gets in the box one day, or maybe not, one kid or grandkid is going to bring it out and you're going to watch it, and it's going to be a grand old time. So just, like pictures, video lasts just as long as the picture. So you need to have these things in your life so that later on you can revisit and rekindle those moments that you spend all this money on and time on, and so you can enjoy them forever. Now that you bought your gown and everything, it's time to pick your bridesmaids dresses. Do not pick your bridesmaids dresses before you pick your wedding gown. Your bridesmaids dresses are supposed to complement your wedding dress. They're not supposed to look exactly like your wedding dress. They don't have to look anything like your wedding dress, but they're supposed to complement. You don't have to have them all in the same dress. You don't have to have them all in the same color, but you really need to decide on some common denominator. If you have them all in different style dresses, then have them wear all long dresses. Don't have some in short and long. Okay, that looks weird. If you want to have patterns, pick a pattern and then have them go with different styles in that same pattern. Or if you want to have them in different colors, have them to wear the same fabric in different colors. They can get this dress in like 6 different colors. You have 6 different bridesmaids. You can do that. There's several ways to mix it up, or you can go with a traditional thing and everybody wears the same dress, and then you change up your matron of honor or maid of honor and have them a little bit different or a little bit more bling or whatever. So there's different ways to do this, and your bridal consultant at your bridal boutique that you go and get these particular bridesmaids dresses would help you decide on that. My very best tip is to go with your mom or your best friend, who may be your maid of honor or your matron of honor. 2 people, mom matron of honor, or just you and your matron of honor. Just 2 to 3 people, not the whole crew. Or you can go by yourself. I would prefer you go by yourself, and I know sometimes you like to get a sidebar opinion. Cool. But go with the least amount of people as you can first, and you choose the dresses that you want. Have about 3, maybe 4, but 3. You pick 3 that you love. And then you have them decide on which of the ones you chose that they like the best, if you want them to pick. Okay? All right, don't go in there with your whole team and having them pick, and then by the time you leave there, you're probably going to be upset, crying, you're going to be mad at somebody, because somebody is going to not like any of your options, okay? And they're just going to be like anti, and you're going to be there all day trying on different dresses, and nobody's going to ever agree. So pick what you like first, then have them try on the dresses that you picked that you like. Don't get distracted by the one bridesmaid that's going to be rogue and go out there and still look at other dresses. Be like, these are the dresses, pick from these dresses, and whichever dress you choose from this is fine. And then roll with it. And then you'll have a great experience. 7, let your fiance pick out their own tuxedo or suit. I know every time I teach this class, especially in person, all the girls are like, oh my God, I can't let him. You know, he knows what you like. You've already showed him Pinterest pictures and other pictures of the type of suits that you really have in mind. We know how to get our opinion over without having to say, I need to go with you. So when they get there, you've already put little seeds in their minds and told them exactly, they know exactly what you're looking for. They have ideas on how they want to look on their wedding day too, because they're getting married too. And so they need to participate, and they know how they want their guys to look. So, a lot of men have really great style. They don't have to be told what to wear. And then at these men's salons and boutiques and shops and tailors, or wherever they decide to go to get their suit at the rental places, whichever place they decide to go to, they have a lot of them have really great workers who can lead them into the right direction when they see them kind of veering off to the left. Okay, so they kind of guide them along. And there's several options they can choose from. They can rent, they can buy suits, they can get suits made, they can just get blazers made. They can do a lot of different things. And, they can explore all their options. So just let them choose. They don't really have to start so early like brides and bridesmaids, but I wouldn't wait at least get them going at least 4 months before the wedding. If they could do it earlier, great. If they're getting things made, then they do need to start earlier. So if they're renting or if they're purchasing, then have them to go at least go 3 months before and have that ironed out, because guys, tend to go a little slower when they're trying to get their items together. All right? 8, why you cannot opt out of hiring a DJ, unless you have a band, of course. These apps and things they work, but they don't. You're going to run out of songs. People are going to have requests. Your phone may die. It may get disconnected. No one's there to put on the song when you're about to do your first dance or this, that, and the other. No one's there to announce you when you come in and out. You can have somebody to do that, of course. Just when you think you have enough songs on your phone or on this, or you just roll a playlist or whatever that you have, you run out. Then you're repeating again. And then the DJ reads the energy of the room. So if you don't have a great DJ, your reception is dead. Like, it is dead. It is terrible. Some people that, have hired us have decided that they was going to, in the past, they decided, oh no, we're not going to hire a DJ. We're going to have a friend do it. They are a DJ. They were-ish a DJ. Some of them wear, but if they're your friends, they think they're part of the wedding, so they drink, they get drunk, they forget, they move away from the DJ area. So like you're looking for them for particular things, they're missing, they're not there. So it gets a little messy. So you want to hire a DJ. You want to hire a good DJ to keep the party going, to make it exciting, to make it fun. When they see the party getting dead, they know how to hype them back up. You don't want to be spending all this money on this party and nobody's partying, unless you just want a social. If you want a social, cool. But, you know, and they can read that also, but you need to tell them that in advance. So just, you know, you really have to have someone there to guide the party along. And that's what your DJ does. They guide the party along, they keep the party going, they keep the party flowing, and their job is to continuously try to figure out how to make sure that everybody's having a great time. And it's an exciting time for everyone, you know, the old, the young, and everybody. And those are the most fun parties, when you see your grandma on the dance floor and your little niece on the dance floor. Everybody in between is having a great, great time. So you just want to make sure you just don't just have somebody there taking up space, and then like when you need music, like there's no music. It's dead. Seeing it is a really bad thing. All right, so make sure you hire you a DJ, and you don't have to spend like a ton of money if you don't want to. You can, but you don't have to. So just get the one that you like, get the one that you love, get the one that you know that's going to keep your reception going. All right, number 9, what do you need? What do you not need, and money saving ideas your guests will not notice. All right, you know, I love a fabulous wedding invitation. I love the box ones, I love the clear ones, the lucite ones, I love gold ones. They have so many fabulous invitations. But if you are running low on your budget, or you need to find somewhere to scrimp a little bit, you know, people are not going to notice if you get a basic invitation. You can go to Hobby Lobby, Walmart, all these places, and they have kits, box kits that you can have printed. You can print them from home if you have a great printer. You can print them at, you know, your copier place. They can print them out for you. And you can save hundreds to thousands of dollars by printing your own invitations. Will people notice that you printed them? No, because they're actually the same invitations that you can order. It's just you printed them yourself. So, you know, take that into consideration on a money-saving area that you can take advantage of. All right, another money-saving area is you don't need all these specialty stations. You don't need the candy station or the donut station. Do you need a photo booth? I kind of think you need a photo booth now, because they're fun and people love them and it's a great time. But really, at the end of the day, if you're really needing to cut money, you don't need that either. So the candy station, if you're having wedding cake, you don't really need that. You know, that's $700 to, you know, $2,000 that you're spending on a candy station when you have wedding cake, and it's just another sweet for people to take home. You don't need it. Wedding favors, do you need them? Absolutely not. Why? Because we pick up about 75% of them off the floor and tables after every wedding. We cannot reuse them because your name and wedding date's on them, so nobody else can use them again either. So take that into consideration when you're trying to save money. Only wedding favors that I've ever seen that people kept were really, really, really nice things that people wanted. And then there was, like, you know, food, you know, that they immediately eat, you know. But, you know, koozies and candles and, I don't know, there's a million favors. You know, there's a million wedding favors out there. But you don't have to buy wedding favors unless you want them. If you're trying to save money, that's a couple $100 you can save and put towards a better photographer. Haha. And then, or a day of coordinator, which you can't be there on your wedding micromanaging your day, you know, while you're trying to get beautiful for your wedding day and get your pictures done. So you can use that money on that. So, you know, just take these things into consideration. So those are a few of the money saving things. Also, some other money saving ways. If you can bring in your own linens, purchasing linens online. If you know, make sure you ask people how many linens you need and what size. Just don't go buy them because you can get the wrong size. So if you want to go that route, just make sure you ask your venue what size you need, and then ask your caterer how many, if they're not bringing their own linens, how many you need. Don't forget you need one for the DJ, the cake table, your gift table, and maybe two more for two other miscellaneous tables, and then ask your caterer how many they will need if they're not bringing in their own. But just make sure you get the sizes right, and make sure you get the number right, because you don't want to get there and decide, oh my gosh, I need 22 round tables and I only have 21. You'll have one table without a table linen, and nobody has extra for you laying around. So there's nothing you can do about it. So just make sure you count. It's always better to order a few extra in the end, and then you'll have those. All right, our last thing is number 10. And this is where we talk about why you hire a professional wedding planner or day of coordinator. This is really not like promoting One Elegant Event, which we are a great company. We've been around for a long time. But it's to explain all these different names. I know when you get engaged, you hear all these different names of a planner, decorator, venue event planner, partial planning, day of coordinator, blah, 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 blah. What is it? Okay, I'm going to explain to you. A full service wedding planner plans, manages, designs, and organizes your entire wedding and coordinates your wedding day and rehearsal. Does a full service wedding planner decorate? Some of them do, some of them don't. Okay? They can run you between $2,000 to $10,000 depending on your wedding budget, what all you're needing. They could be a little bit more than that. Depends on if you get a celebrity designer, whoever. They have different packages for you to choose from. They have different levels, different plans. They will even customize a plan for you. An event designer, decorator. An event designer / decorator, they only decorate. They design and decorate only. No planning or vendor referrals. Okay? And their price is based on what you choose. So when people call up decorators or event designers and say, how much do you charge to decorate for weddings? They can't just send you a price saying, I charge $3,000 to decorate your wedding, because they don't know what kind of centerpieces you want. They don't know what kind of flowers you want. Every flower is a different price. Every flower is a different price at different times of the year. Table linens, depending on the type you choose, are different prices. Not because they make it up, it's because the companies that get this stuff from, they have the prices that they get them from. The type of base that you choose for your centerpieces to go in are different prices. Do they even have it in stock? Do they need to order them? All of these things come into play. What kind of chair, if you're getting chairs from them, Chiavari chairs, Cartier chairs, these other chairs, hatchbacks chairs, all of these different things are different prices. So they cannot just give you a flat out fee for decorating. You have to meet with them, show them pictures, tell them what you want, and then they'll send you a quote in about a week or two of everything that you want, and then you can decide between this, that, and the other on how you want to spend the money and how to change out things to make it cheaper, or if you need to add some more things in. Your venue event planner only does their venue. So you go to the hotel and they say, oh, we have a wedding planner here. They do not plan your wedding. They plan the stuff that's at their hotel. They plan your food menu. They plan what they have there. If all your rentals have to go through them, then they do that. Anything associated with the hotel, they do. They're not there to run your rehearsal. They're not there to find grandma when she takes missing right before the wedding starts, to put her in line. They're not there to guide you down the aisle. They're not there to run your reception. They're just there to coordinate the stuff, their staff, everything for your wedding, but not your particular things. So that's where your day of coordinator comes in to help take up that piece. or your wedding planner take up, they don't, if they don't have a list or anything to help you plan your wedding. Partial planning is when you've started planning, planning my wedding, I'm going great, my friend is helping me great, and all of a sudden your friend, or she gets pregnant, or she gets a new job, or she's tired, or she whatever, and she falls off, or your mom is busy, or she's not there, or whoever's helping you stops, or you never did have any help, you just lost steam, or you get a raise or promotion, school gets too crazy, I don't know, you just lost the passion for planning. And so you're like, oh my gosh, I wish somebody would just take this freaking wedding and just finish it for me, please. That's where partial planning comes. You hire a wedding planner to take over from where you stopped. They go over everything that you went through in the past, make sure all of that's straight, and then they finish everything out, and then they're there for your wedding day as your day of coordinator and do all of that. All right? And then your day of coordinator, depending on who you hire, they can actually be just a day of coordinator where they show up on the wedding day and manages your day. Or a day of coordinator could be there for your rehearsal and for the day of your wedding. So they rehearse everybody, make sure they know where they're going and doing and all of that. That should last about an hour. And then the next day they're there all day, or however many hours you paid them to be there to manage your wedding, to make sure everything runs smoothly, so you can get your makeup done and get your pre-shoots done and do your first look and be able to enjoy your day without having to shake down why your cake is not there on time, or why your DJ's not set up on time, or how did the ring bearer pillow get missing, or where did this go, or this, all of these things. So your day of coordinator is there to make sure your wedding day runs smoothly. Or there's other day of coordinators like us who take over 30 days before your wedding. So you turn over everything to them 30 days before the wedding. They make sure all the vendors are in order. They run over all your things. Then they're there at the rehearsal. And then they're there all day from start to finish on your wedding day. So depending on who you hire is what type of services you get for a day of coordinator. So make sure you ask a lot of questions, ask what they offer, because price tells you a lot. So if you're paying $400 for a service, you're usually only getting like just the day of. They may do the rehearsal, or if you're paying more, you may get more services. So ask questions, ask a lot of questions, get it in writing, and make sure you know what you're paying for. Hourly consultations. A lot of planners, if you're doing it all yourself, they will allow you to pay them an hourly fee. You come talk with them. Usually you have to pay for at least 2 hours. And you talk with them. Make sure you have your questions in order. This is how you get the best out of this. You come in prepared. You have your list of questions. You get all of them answered. So come in prepared with your nice little, list of questions on your phone or in your notebook. And then you can, knock it all out. And they will answer you in that time that you paid for, and lead you in the path of righteousness, and your wedding will be great. So that's our 1 to 10. I have little allergies going on. It's not the corona, I promise you. But this is my allergy season. And so I hope you enjoyed this. Usually this class, when we do it in person, takes about 2 hours. Next time we do it, I'm going to be able to go online and answer questions as it goes along. So I'll get better as we do this. We usually do this class once a month, and we're going to keep doing it once a month. We're going to do it by live stream, because I had been thinking about doing that anyway, because we have clients that are all over the world, and usually we only did the class here, so only the people here could take advantage of it. So I think this is a better opportunity for everybody to get some information that they need and be able to move it along. And if you got your packet, your planning packet, we also added in this bonus where we put in our, this is the same timeline that we give all of our clients, but it's a little bit more open for everyone. It's not so detailed, so it kind of allows for everybody's wedding. You know, use the stuff that you're going to actually use, toss out the rest. But if you follow this 12-month plan, you'll cover everything. So you know, if you follow this planning timeline, not planning plan, that's funny. But if you follow this plan, you know that you're not missing anything. And that's the biggest thing that we find out when people just hire us for a day of coordinating, not our full planning services, that by the time we get to their 30 days before their wedding, because, you know, that's why we do it 30 days before the wedding, because there's always some things that are missing. And then they didn't realize it. And then there's that last minute rush. And I'd rather for the last minute rush to be 4 weeks before your wedding than like the week of your wedding. So by the time the week of your wedding comes, you're not like stressing out, you're calm again. So this prevents you from missing anything and waiting to the last minute for those details you just didn't really think about. And it covers everything. So that's in the planning packet for those who registered. You have it. It's at the end. Take advantage of it. Use it. If you've already started planning, go through it, read it. Make sure that you've taken care of all of those things. And if you have not, then you have time to fix it. I mean, what do we have? We have nothing but time now on our hands to do things. And just because you can't really book anything, well, you can if your wedding's far enough out. But you can definitely get prices and still plan your wedding and still get things done. So don't think you can't plan your wedding during this time. You can get a lot of things done. A lot of the vendors are still answering their phones. They're doing consultations by video chat. I know we're doing video chat consultations. A lot of the other people we know are doing video chat consultations. You can book things online. Everybody has all of these ways of doing things through email and invoice. And we are in a great time to, you know, this is not a great thing we're going through, but this is a great time to be able to have all of these technical things that we have to be able to continue on to do the things we need to get done. And while you're off on work, if you are, you can get these things done. And then by the time you go back to work, you can be like, I got that wedding planning done. I can concentrate on back to work and get myself together, and we're all good. So I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I appreciate you all for showing up. This was you know, our first, we've done this one time before, but this is really our first time trying this out. So next time we'll have it a little bit smoother. We'll definitely start on time, and it'll be great. So if you have any questions, feel free to send them to me on our Facebook page, or you can email them to me or inbox me, and I'll be happy to answer you. And if you're watching this and you did not get the PDF of it so you can get your timeline and all the information that we talked about today, feel free to email me at oneelegantevent@gmail.com, or you can, like I said, inbox me your email address on our Facebook page. All right? Well, I'll talk to you soon. You enjoy your social distancing. Don't visit the refrigerator too much and eat too many snacks. And enjoy your day. Happy planning. Bye.